Hey party people, hello. Nice to see you guys again. And we're back up with the video. Hopefully by the time I'm done editing this or whatever, maybe things will be up and rolling. And I want to have a little bit of video on Spotify as well, so maybe that'll help. So hopefully those who listen on Spotify can see me. This will be your first time. Hey, hello. And I'm just comfy. I'm in my blanket. I'm wearing my pajamas. Who doesn't want to be comfortable or relaxed when they're doing a podcast episode? Why not? Sometimes I'm up and I'm dressed, but sometimes we have those days where we're just not up to par and we just want to be in our pajamas all day. And that's totally fine, because who's to tell us that we can't be in our pajamas all day? And to be honest, I like pajamas. I will wear them all day, every day if I can. I will go outside with pajamas if I could. Actually, I can, but sometimes I choose not to. But most of the time, I think I pretty much do, even though it's not good. I don't know. But we're back. Today, we'll be touching on a little bit of mental health checks and affirmations and self-discipline. It's a little bit of everything in this episode, but it's mostly about just mental health. I don't know if you can see, but I like this Santa Claus t-shirt, and I know it's not Christmas, so whatever, who cares? Christmas is every day. But yeah, so mental health, how I've been feeling recently. If somebody were to ask me that, I wouldn't know what to say, to be honest. I feel like I'm okay mentally. Lately, I've been succumbing to social media, unfortunately, and I've been trying to get off of social media. So I'm just kind of like going with the flow right now. Social media, and like I said, if you heard or listened to the last episode, was it last episode or the second to last episode that I did about social media, make sure you go listen to it. But for what I want to do, I have to be on social media. And being on that can really affect your mental health. And it's been doing that to me. This is a result of that social media. To be honest, it's not necessarily true because I'm in my pajamas most of the time anyway. But, for the sake of this episode, that is what is going on with my mental health. I feel like there's so many pretty people on there, and then sometimes I get a little insecure about my looks sometimes, and it's hard to not be like, I look just as good as them, or they're younger than me and they look better. Like sometimes it's really hard and it gets in your head. So I've been trying to get off social media a lot. Since I have to post online, I usually just post and then skedaddle. What I could do to definitely just help with my mental health, and what I've been wanting to do, is journaling. Journaling does help a lot. I don't journal as much as I want to be honest. I journal like once or twice monthly, and that's not good. We need some day journaling. And I like journaling digitally, but I've been wanting to like physically write down like my journal prompts and answer the prompts, because I feel like it's more proficient, or like not just proficient, but it makes it feel more authentic, if that makes sense. No offense to anybody that's journaling digitally, but it's just more, I feel like I'm getting like the thoughts and words out of my head onto literal. Like I don't know, it's something about it that is just more realistic about it. So I want to get a journal. I can't say want, because I will get a journal. Definitely going to browse Amazon and Etsy this weekend and get a journal, because spring break is coming up and I need some time to myself. I need to, just journal these thoughts. I also think that helping my mental health would just be being able to catch up on my comfort shows, my comfort movies that I haven't been able to watch. I found myself scrolling on my phone and listen, and then I think about it. When I find myself doing that, I think about it and I'm like, hold on, what am I doing if I'm not changing what I'm doing? I'm sitting here scrolling through apps and things on my phone, and then when I catch myself doing it, it's like, what are you doing? Why are you scrolling through these things and just consuming that content? Like, consuming that content and just aimlessly scrolling, it makes you feel like trash. And I felt like trash because I found myself just going through my phone and not doing anything and not changing the way I wanted my life to be. And I am now. But then I was like, whoa, what is going on and why am I doing that? So for now on, I just want to create videos and just get off social media. I do still want to like post and take pictures and videos once in a while, because it's one of my goals this year to definitely take more pictures, maybe at least once a week. I don't know, maybe every 2 weeks, because I'm not a picture as person. I want to be, and I will be when I get there, but now I just don't really take pictures, and I need to change that. I just feel like being on a schedule also with my mental health, because if I'm not on a schedule, I feel like I'm wasting hours and time, and being in class helps me because I like a sense of a schedule. I like getting up at a certain time, going to class at a certain time, coming back at a certain time. Like, I just like the feel of that. and I don't want to change that. So having a schedule definitely helped me with my mental health. And what about you guys? What helps you when you feel like you're feeling down? When you're feeling down, what do you do in order to get out of that slump? I also have a YouTube video on getting out of a slump. It's on a cup of jojo, so check that out. I think I posted it back in December or the beginning of January. I don't remember. But what do you do? I also felt like I've been lacking on my book consumption, if that makes sense. I've been reading my books digitally, and I forget that I have physical books in my room. I literally have past this ring light that I'm looking at. I have about 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's one over here. I have six. 6 of them are already here, and I have more at home. But yeah, I've been just forgetting that I have these books, and I get on my phone digitally. And I don't know what it was yesterday, but maybe it was the allergies or something. I don't know if I want to blame it on that or not. But I was reading. Yeah, I was reading, and my eyes, they felt so dizzy. When I'm reading on like this kind of, and my phone is like this. And then I sometimes, you got to get comfortable and you switch over to the other side. But when I switch over to the other side, it felt like I was about to fall over. I don't know, I felt dizzy, my eyes. I don't know what was going on. I think it was maybe the screen, and I don't usually keep my brightness up at all because it hurts my eyes anyway, and I have sensitive eyes. But maybe it was the screen. I was watching television earlier and Netflix earlier, so maybe that's something. I was doing some college work earlier as well, so that could affect my eyes. I don't know what it was. But that just made me want to be okay, yeah, I need to work on actually physically reading instead of digitally reading, because I feel like that also hurts with my head mentally. I guess it can be seen as mentally. It literally hurts my head. It literally hurts my head though. But I did read again digitally and fine, but you know how it is. So I want to touch on self-discipline and why I feel like sometimes I can't strive to make these things better or my mental health better, because I like self-discipline is something that's very much learned and hard to learn. I talked about self-discipline in my last episode, I believe, and it is hard to, discipline yourself into doing a certain thing, especially when you're not used to it. So I feel like that's the reason why I feel like I can't make myself better, if that makes sense. Let's say I need to wake up at 9 a.m. and of course I have to set an alarm at 8:30, 8 o'clock, depends on the location I'm at. And that's self-discipline. You're setting that alarm and you're getting up at a time to get to that location or wherever you are at 9. And it's hard. It very much is. And I strive to help you guys and people on YouTube on talk with productivity and wellness. But this episode is an example of not everything being as productive and as well as you see it on YouTube or on the podcast or whatever. It's just a little, mental check, a little conversation for us to just relate to each other, talk about these realistic things that we literally need to talk about. I don't think I've ever seen a podcast episode where they talk about their own mental health, maybe besides a few others, I don't know. But they just talk about themselves in an episode about that mental health, because I deserve as much as you deserve to talk about these things, and I might as well journal it through video or through this mic. But I am working on it. I definitely am working on it, and I'll be back and I'll be better next week. I've not only been kind of okay, but physically as well. I also think it's the allergies or something, but maybe it's a stomach bug. I don't know, but I'm not feeling too well. I'm okay. So why should you focus on mental health checks? It's always nice to make sure you check on your mental health, because if you aren't able to check in with someone about your own mental health, then how do you know how you're doing? You can convince yourself all you want and be like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing fine, but are you really? Are you okay? Are you actually fine? And when I ask myself these questions, sometimes I'm like, no, I'm not fine. And I try and figure out how to help myself in a way, whether that's through healing my inner child or creating new habits, healthy habits, etc. But having these mental health checks are so important, and I do want to start implementing them into the end of episodes as time goes on, just to see where your head is at and what maybe I could do. Mental health checks are great, and there's no reason that you shouldn't at least check on your health once a month, or maybe even twice a month, depends on how much you need it. Whether that's with a counselor, a therapist, with yourself, looking in the mirror, with your friend, your parents. It's good to just see where you're at, where your head's at, and how things can go further on. The benefits to mental health checks can definitely be just, like I said, knowing where you're at, knowing where your head is at, being able to help implement something into your life to help you from then on, being able to focus on the one thing that you need to work on within your mental health. So if you're able to check your mental health, then you're able to focus on that one thing throughout the entire month, and you're able to level it up or be able to just improve that part of that month so you don't have to worry about it. And as the months go by, then you'll be able to improve those parts of yourself that you're having trouble with. And eventually you will come together like a puzzle piece and connect. Right now, for me, I'm okay. I'm feeling okay. And everybody has these days, realistically, not as all hunky-dory. But just wanted to drop this episode to give you guys a touch on how my mental health is doing. And I also want to know how your mental health is doing. And maybe this episode helped you relate to me in some way and to get to know me better. Who knows? But I hope you guys enjoyed this small little episode of the Party Podcast. Before we end it off, I do want to touch on a little bit of affirmations as well. Recently, I've been reading a book that my mom recommended. I will give you guys a title of the book when I get the chance. I'm also still reading it. I'm almost done. But affirmations and manifestations are key to just living that life and improving your mental health. Because if you know, or if you use those affirmations, get what you want, it will eventually happen. If that you can dream the life you want, or you can say what you want into the universe, and the universe will give back to you. I've been practicing affirmations and stuff, and I eventually, when I get done with my book, because in the book it says that you should in the morning or at night, or maybe in the middle of the afternoon, usually morning and night, it's like the best time for you to say affirmations and take a deep breath and get into that safe space. But yeah, just doing those will really help with you're going through, and I promise you it will be okay. So thank you guys for listening to the episode. I don't know if it was quick or not, but this quick little episode of the Party Podcast. If you want to tell me what you thought about this episode, let me know on my Instagram, on my YouTube. My personal Instagram and TikTok is at xoxo.jojo, and the Pity Party Podcast TikTok and Instagram is pityparty.podcast. It's also in the description if you want to look it up. And my assignment for you today is to just do a mental health check on yourself, whether that's with others or just with yourself. Write down what you feel like and what you think you can do to help with that. So thank you guys for listening again, and I will see you guys next week.